Welcome to this Reiki talk. Today I am with Sarah. Sarah is a lovely practitioner. She's been targeting her work toward women and she has come to my Reiki training, my assistant at Hollyhock. I thought it would be very nice to have a conversation with you and to talk about all the work that we both do and the Hollyhock Summer Reiki Retreat, which I'm super excited to have again this year.
I know, I'm so excited too.
So, welcome, Sarah. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
So, maybe let's start with your own journey, right? Because you actually came to like womb healing and all this wonderful stuff that is so needed in the world. Maybe let's bring back how we connected. So, it was through sound healing.
Yeah, you were having sound baths at your place, and I just came to all of them because they were so beautiful. And yeah, and then we just developed a good friendship after that.
And so I remember you saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm a Virgo. If I don't see it, I don't believe it."
Yeah, to all those people that are in their head, I'm a Virgo, so I very much know what it's like to be in my head all the time and question whether I'm feeling things, whether I'm hearing things, all the questioning everything. But yeah, I wanted to work on my spiritual practice. I was kind of open to learning, and you came into my life and you taught Reiki, and I thought, oh, you know what? This is probably a wonderful thing for me to learn. And yeah, whether I'm in my head or not, I think it's a great way to just be in tune with my body and just really sensing things and not being so much in my mind and just really going into the body and feeling and realizing that I am feeling the things. Might not be all the time, but I do feel it.
Yeah, it's so interesting how the story that we tell ourselves create our reality. Each time I have a Reiki session with someone, I reach out after a few days just to check in and see what's going on. And well, nothing really came up from the session, but they come with these mind blowing things that they don't realize and they just bring it on the download. The last person I checked in with was like, during the session, I didn't feel too much, but at some point, I had this vision about like a big snake leaving me. And when we were sharing about, like this experience, what it brought emotionally, and the symbolic of the snake, she was like, "Yeah, like I'm terrified by snake. It's one of like my biggest fear." And I'm like, "Ooh, what's behind the snake?" You know?
Yeah.
She felt way better after the snake leaving her, whatever it was for her. She almost didn't talk about it.
Yeah, I think that's a way we get in our heads too of like, oh, well, it's just like this little thing or whatever, or you kind of think it's insignificant, but really it's so significant and you kind of brush it off like, oh, wait, no, that probably was due to the Reiki session.
Yeah. So you're holding the space for women to tap into their power. Can you talk about how it came for you to create this practice?
Sure, yeah. Well, I took your Reiki course and then I took that into the next course I took, which was to do womb healings. I don't necessarily like the term healing, but essentially womb nourishment. I feel like so many women are disconnected from their body. I do mammograms, like I work in healthcare. So I've seen women barely touch their own breasts, like they touch them with disgust. And there's so many women that tell me, like, thank God I'm not bleeding anymore and all this stuff. And I just think, oh my goodness, I have such a beautiful connection with my womb and my bleed that I don't even want to stop bleeding. And I just feel like, yeah, we've been taught to be ashamed of our bleed and disgusted by it. Women just aren't in tune with their bodies like they should be. Not that I want to say should, but there can be such a beautiful connection there. And I just want to help women come home to their body in that connection.
Yeah, that's beautiful and really needed. You know what I realized, and really for me, it started with a spiritual journey that I took on, right? But it brought me back to my body, to the actual inner war I was having in the way I was connecting with my body and having this not so nice inner conversation with myself. And all of that was a part of being more aware. And I have to say that the feminine, I think the future is feminine. Deeply think that the feminine is coming up big time, and women are ready to dive into their own body, their own limiting belief and programming that unfortunately we all have one way or another.
Yeah, I think women are going to start stepping into their power. I feel like a lot of us, whether we know it or not, there's like witch wounds from the past where, we were hung or burnt or, for expressing our power, expressing like doing our magic and all that. And so I think a lot of us have that ingrained in us without us even knowing that that's why we're kind of holding back in life.
Oh, totally, totally. And that's something fascinating in the sense that, like, despite the fear of all of that, so it can be maybe like past life related, it could be about in your ancestry. You
Yeah.
know, what is the message to be a woman, and where are their power, and how do they hold this power? The connection with the body is really something that I truly feel is important. In my spiritual practice, what I would do, it's actually connecting to my body first. I do anything spiritual and taking the time to leave like the worry of the day, of the future, the past, like all of that, and coming back into the present. Many times my spirit guides, they're telling me that spirituality is life and we need to do life. And many times I wanted to retire into an ashram and never come to the Western life ever again. And the message was like, no, like this is not checking out and bypassing life. We're here to do life. And if spirit is up there, that's this image that we have, taking spirit in our life, in our body.
It's so easy to go to a retreat or an ashram or something and be spiritual and just live in that beautiful spiritual place. But it's taking that and integrating it into our everyday lives when we're dealing with other people, when we're in traffic, all that stuff. That's when you truly know if you are practicing spirituality.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally. And sometimes we need to get away from our comfort zone, from our routine. Let's talk about the Reiki retreats, which this is a great way to get out of your routine in a very beautiful sacred place and surround yourself with people that are interested also to dive into spirituality, to receive from each other, to connect. And you've been accompanying me and supporting me and the peeps coming for the retreat.
You know your stuff. Like, and you're amazing at what you do. That's first off, from what I've noticed. It's been really wild and really amazing to see you work on other women because I've had Reiki sessions from you and I've felt something shift. But to actually watch you do it on other women, I'm like, whoa. Yeah. So you are such a beautiful instructor, a beautiful mentor to learn from. And you just have such a beautiful energy, especially with people like me who get in their head. You very much are like, it's okay. You can be in your head, but also try and let that go as much as you can. Don't get discouraged and just keep working through it, right? Yeah, I really love it. Hollyhock's beautiful. It's so nice to just go and turn your phone off and just immerse yourself in the retreat, learn the tools, and yeah, receive and practice on each other. The last couple of years, it's just been all women. So it's a very beautiful circle of women, circle of sisters, such a sacred space. It's just such a beautiful land. And I love my food, and their food is so good too. So I'm just like, give me the food.
Oh, absolutely. And women are showing up. And I want to say there, we're welcoming men and women, like it's not at all gender specific in any way. We have a bunch of caretaker. They might be like frontline workers, like health practitioners from like Western allopathic traditional healthcare, holistic practice. They are taking care of everybody. They are doing a great job holding space for others. But at some point, they realize that they also need to fill their own cup. Sometimes people come for others, right? So we would have people, and they can be mother, for example, and they're like, I would love to give Reiki to my kids, or I'm retired now, I have more time for myself. So how nice would it be to offer Reiki session to the people that need it, right? So we have people that are deeply of service, and they might be professionally oriented toward that, but sometimes it's just like a calling, deep from within, and they're just answering the call, and they realize during those 5 days that actually they have to start with themselves. That's really what I love with the first level of Reiki, to realize that you cannot really do anything if you're empty. Reiki brings this awareness to people, and at some point there is maybe a sense of giving everything to everyone, and practicing Reiki give them a tool to actually connect with themselves and realize what they're doing to themselves ultimately, and not taking enough time. What do they say in the plane? Bring your air mask first before you help someone else.
Exactly, yeah.
And we haven't learned that at all. That was not the message that we've been taught as little boy or little girl, right? That was more like about give everything you have, because if you don't, you're kind of selfish.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So I think people struggle with that too, thinking that it's selfish to put themselves first, when really it's, it's selfish not to. You got to take care of you first so that you can be that person that can help others. Yeah.
So maybe I want to ask you, and I have my own answer about that, but what is your favorite moment in those 5 days of Reiki training? What is like the moments that you enjoy the most?
Oh, it's hard. There's a few that come to mind, but there was a moment when you helped a woman have a really big release. That's when I was just watching you in awe of what you did. I like the sharing of the groups and practicing on each other. One thing that I love too is cold dipping in the ocean. That's not really to do with the Reiki, that's just Hollyhock.
For me, I really enjoy the self practice with the sound. So we start with Reiki 1, and Reiki 1 is all about self healing. And so we focus on ourselves before we focus on other. And I really enjoy the fact that like we're taking the crystal ball with us, and I share some sound moments with the group. I love seeing Reiki beginner going through the Reiki, enjoying the sound and having magical release during this time. And I think the second one is where we exchange Reiki but outside.
Yes.
I think like being in the forest, finding a quiet place. The land is so majestic there. There is so many place where you can be just alone, and you're just laying on the grass and having the sun and just taking it in, and you have someone giving you Reiki in those kind of condition. It's bring me so much joy.
Yeah. It's so beautiful to see you doing what you love in a place that you love.
If there is like people that might be interested with the Reiki training, but they're hesitating, what would you tell them about the training?
I would say just do it. If you're feeling the call and you're hesitating for some reason, just do it. You won't regret it. Fleur, she's an amazing instructor and she's so great to learn from. And you can't learn in a better spot than Hollyhock. I know it's a bit of a trek to get there, but it's totally worth it. So I would say take this time, invest in you, invest the time and the money and the energy in you, and you won't regret it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah.
You're welcome. See you in Hollyhock in June. Yay! And I hope to see many people who are watching this as well.